What if the first 10 minutes of your morning could slow down aging, strengthen your body, and bring your mind back to life? It's not a fantasy. It's not a miracle cure. It's simple, real, and it's something you can start tomorrow, with no special equipment, no expensive programs, and no perfect conditions. In fact, if you're over 65, your very first 10 minutes are the secret weapon you didn't know you had. Let's walk through it together, step by simple, powerful step. Not every morning greets us with ease. Sometimes your arms feel like they're underwater, your breath hasn't quite caught up with your heartbeat, and the simple act of standing takes more courage than you'd like to admit. For many people past 65, the morning isn't just another part of the day, it's a quiet battleground between what you can do, what you used to do, and what you wish you could still do. And yet, here's the quiet truth: if we treat those first 10 minutes with care, we can begin to shift the entire course of our health, our energy, and yes, even how old we feel. Not by magic, but by mindful, meaningful practice. Let's walk through that first 10 minutes together. I want to introduce you to someone. Her name is Bernice. She's 74 and lives in a small cottage on the edge of northern Idaho. Bernice used to dread mornings. Her knees were stiff, her hands ached before she even touched a coffee mug, and the quiet, it used to feel too quiet. Like something was missing, but she didn't know what. One winter, after slipping on a rug while heading to the kitchen too quickly, Bernice decided she couldn't keep winging her mornings. Her doctor told her that her fall wasn't unusual for someone her age, but that made her feel worse, not better. So, she started changing just the first 10 minutes of her day. Not her whole life. Just those 10. And that changed everything. Now, let's rewind a bit, because the science here is actually on Bernice's side. Our bodies, especially past 65, go through something scientists call circadian vulnerability. Simply put, your heart rate, blood pressure, and even balance are at their most fragile in the hour after waking. Your spine has decompressed during sleep, your blood sugar is low, and your body is more prone to inflammation. So what you do right away after waking sets the stage for your entire day, or even your long-term health. So how does that become a tool for reversing age? Here's where it gets interesting. When you slow down those first 10 minutes and attend to your body, you're telling your nervous system, you are safe. You are cared for. You are in control. And when that message is clear, something beautiful starts happening. Your stress hormones begin to lower, your digestion wakes up, your joints move more freely, and your mind gets sharper. That's not fluff, it's biology. Back to Bernice. Her new morning begins not with a jolt out of bed, but with a pause. She opens her eyes, then, this is key, places one hand over her heart and the other on her stomach. 3 deep, slow breaths. She told me once, it's like I'm saying good morning to myself before I say it to the world. Now, you might be thinking, that's nice, but I need something practical. You're absolutely right. Let's keep going. Once she sits up, slowly, always slowly, Bernice swings her legs off the bed and plants both feet on the floor. She does something called a grounding press, pressing her feet gently into the floor, waking up the connection between body and earth. This helps reawaken balance sensors in the feet, ankles, and hips, places where aging quietly sneaks in. From there, she doesn't rush to the bathroom. She sits for just 1 minute, and reaches both arms forward and up, stretching her spine in a gentle arc. Her breathing deepens, her shoulders relax. You see, reversing age isn't about looking younger. It's about feeling more alive. And for Bernice, that came from reclaiming those first quiet steps. And you don't need fancy equipment, expensive routines, or a 20-step protocol. This isn't a wellness trend. It's wisdom. In fact, in cultures where people live the longest, places like Okinawa and Sardinia, elders have daily movement rituals that begin before they even leave their homes. Simple things. Breathing, sipping warm water, a light stretch by the window. Speaking of warm water, this might be one of the most underrated aging reversals you can start today. While the kettle heats, try this: pour yourself a cup of warm water with a slice of lemon or a pinch of sea salt. It signals the gut to start moving, replenishes electrolytes, and gently boosts the kidneys. Many seniors unknowingly begin their day dehydrated, which worsens joint pain, mental fog, and fatigue. And no, coffee doesn't count, at least not yet. I remember speaking with a man named Lionel, age 78, who used to reach straight for his strong brew every morning. "It's the only way I can get moving," he said. But after switching to lemon water first, he was shocked. Within days, his usual 10 a.m. brain fog faded. His digestion improved. "I still love my coffee," he told me with a laugh, "but now I drink it as a reward, not a rescue." The lesson here isn't to give up your comforts, it's to layer in care before them. The final piece Bernice swears by: music. Not the radio. Not the news. But one familiar song that brings her peace. She chose a track from her 1970s record collection, the kind of song that makes her shoulders drop and her breath slow the moment it plays. "It's silly," she said, "but it's like a little hug I give myself." That little hug, that gesture of kindness toward yourself, may be more powerful than any vitamin or medication. Why? Because the body listens. It notices how you treat it. And over time, the way you begin your day becomes the way you walk through the rest of it. So what does your morning say to you? Let's keep going, there's more to uncover. Now, let's imagine this: you've taken those first deep breaths, sipped your warm water, maybe even stretched with a soft hum in your throat. It's still quiet. The world hasn't demanded anything of you yet. And that's exactly when the next step becomes most powerful: waking up your circulation. For many people over 65, circulation doesn't hum along like it used to. Blood moves slower, limbs get colder, hands feel stiffer. But the body responds remarkably well to gentle movement, especially when done first thing, before tension sets in. Let me tell you about Ravi. He's 82 now, a retired train conductor from Pittsburgh. His doctor once told him his hands were aging faster than the rest of him. The cold would settle in his knuckles by 9 a.m., and by lunchtime he could barely open a jar. "I used to think it was just part of getting old," he said. Turns out, it was just part of getting still. So he started what he calls his wake-up wave. It takes less than 3 minutes, but the effect lasts all day. Here's how it goes, in his words. "I sit on the edge of the bed, rub my hands together until they're warm, then I press my palms to my cheeks. Then the top of my head. Then my neck. It's like reminding myself I'm here. Then I move my wrists in little circles, flex my fingers like I'm waving goodbye to stiffness. It's not fancy. But it works. Because what Ravi's doing, maybe without even realizing it, is stimulating the lymphatic system. That's the body's internal cleanup crew. And when you activate it with small, rhythmic motion, you're helping reduce swelling, ease joint pressure, and even support immune function. All from your bedroom. And here's something you might not expect: the face is part of this too. Light facial massage in the morning not only helps with sinus flow and puffiness, it sends a neurological wake-up call to your brain. In Japan, many older adults practice face brushing before anything else. It's believed to help with clarity, facial tone, and even mood regulation. And studies are beginning to support that it's not just cultural, it's chemical. That touch? It floods your system with oxytocin and serotonin, those calming, feel-good brain messengers. So, if you've ever felt like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, try this: gently rub your fingertips over your jawline, your cheekbones, around the eyes. Take your time. You might just find the heaviness start to lift. By the way, if you found anything helpful so far, pause and let me know in the comments. Just a simple, yes, this helps, or even your own favorite way to start the day. Sharing what works for you helps someone else in this community. Now, what about balance? It's one of the most subtle signs of aging, and one of the most powerful indicators of how we'll age going forward. Meet Gloria, age 76. She lives alone in a second-floor apartment in Florida. A year ago, she took a small spill in her kitchen, not serious, but enough to shake her confidence. Her daughter suggested a walker. Gloria refused. Not out of pride, but because she believed in training her body to stay capable. So, she built a new habit into her mornings. While waiting for her tea to steep, she practices heel-to-toe walking. Just 10 slow steps across the hallway, barefoot or in socks with rubber grips. She balances by holding the wall lightly, not for support, just for awareness. "It's my daily check-in," she says. "If I can walk that line, I know I'm okay." She's not wrong. In fact, a Harvard study found that seniors who practiced short balance drills, like one-leg stands or heel-to-toe walking, reduced their fall risk by up to 43%. And the earlier in the day you do it, the more those benefits carry over into everything else. Grocery shopping, showering, even gardening. And here's the beautiful part, this isn't about becoming an acrobat. It's about gently challenging your body so it remembers what strength feels like. Now, let's talk about sound. Because silence, while peaceful, can sometimes feel too quiet, especially in the mornings. If you've ever found yourself talking to the toaster, or humming just to fill the air, you're not alone. Sound, even soft ambient sound, helps ground us. And for many older adults, it helps calm morning anxiety. Consider playing one of the following while you prepare breakfast. A favorite instrumental album, nostalgia activates memory centers. A nature sound loop, like rain or birdsong, shown to lower cortisol. A brief podcast or devotional, for intellectual and spiritual awakening. Or do what George does. George is 79 and partially blind. Every morning, he plays the same recording, his granddaughter reading the poem Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. "I don't just hear her voice," he told me. "I hear my own heartbeat settle." And speaking of the heart, here's something quietly transformative: gratitude journaling. Now before you roll your eyes, hear me out. I'm not talking about a diary or paragraphs of prose. I'm talking about 3 simple lines. Every morning. A piece of paper on the counter. Maybe even a sticky note that says, "Today, I am grateful for." "This morning, I'm proud of." "Someone I love is." That's it. You don't need to be poetic. You don't need to spell everything right. What you need is to shift your mind away from fear and toward presence. A simple practice like this literally rewires the aging brain. Gratitude has been shown to improve sleep, digestion, immune strength, and even reduce symptoms of arthritis. Not because it's magic, but because when you tune into what's still good, your body follows suit. So here's your moment. While your tea brews, while your eggs cook, while the sun rises outside your window, write something down. Or speak it aloud. "I'm grateful for this day. I'm still here." Now take that truth, and let it carry you into the rest of your morning. There's still more to uncover, because the final minutes of this 10-minute routine hold something powerful. We're not done yet. Somewhere in the quiet hours of the morning, before the phone rings, before someone else's needs start pulling at you, there's a space that belongs only to you. And in that space, you get to choose, will today begin with tension, or with tenderness? It may seem small, but this question has power. Because the truth is, as we age, our emotional rhythms begin to shift just as much as our physical ones. Feelings that once passed quickly, anxiety, grief, irritability, can linger longer now. That's not a failure on your part. It's biology. Our cortisol levels take longer to drop, and our ability to bounce back can feel slower, especially in the morning. That's why emotional anchoring is one of the most underestimated parts of a revitalizing morning routine. Let me tell you about Donetta, a 69-year-old woman living just outside Memphis. She lost her husband 2 years ago and, for a while, mornings felt unbearable. The silence reminded her of who wasn't there. "I used to reach across the bed and forget he was gone," she told me. Every morning was like learning it all over again. What helped her wasn't distraction. It wasn't busyness. It was a new ritual, sitting by her window with her coffee and saying her husband's name aloud, followed by one thing she was thankful for from their years together. It didn't erase the grief, she says, but it gave it shape. It turned sorrow into a kind of prayer. This gentle act brought Donetta back to herself. And it opened a space for joy to return, not the loud, party kind of joy, but the quiet contentment that often visits those who've lived through sorrow and kept their hearts soft. You see, joy in older age often wears new clothes. It shows up as peace, as clarity, as the absence of striving. And it often starts in the gut. Yes, really, the gut. Modern science now confirms what Eastern medicine has taught for centuries: your gut is deeply connected to your brain. In fact, your intestines produce nearly 90% of your body's serotonin, your feel-good chemical. And what you do in the first hour of your day can either wake up or shut down that gut-brain connection. Have you ever felt foggy, sluggish, or emotionally flat for no clear reason? It might be as simple as how you're fueling your system, or how you're not. Now, before you panic and toss everything in your pantry, take a breath. You don't need a strict diet. What you need is gentle nourishment, especially in those early hours. That's where we meet Jorge, 73, a retired school librarian from El Paso. Jorge never used to eat breakfast. "I'd get by on coffee until lunch," he said. "Didn't think I needed more." But after a health scare involving low blood sugar and a dizzy spell while walking his dog, he made a change. Nothing drastic, just a bowl of oats with cinnamon and a few walnut halves. Sometimes a poached egg. Always a glass of water with a splash of apple cider vinegar. And wouldn't you know, his energy came back. "I thought I was just getting old," Jorge told me, "but I was actually just underfed." Now let's be clear, this isn't about calories. It's about signaling safety to your body. When your system feels nourished, your stress hormones decline, your digestion improves, and, perhaps most importantly, your mind steadies. That mind-body steadiness is what allows the real transformation to begin. Because at this stage of life, it's not about doing more. It's about doing less with more love. You might still be wondering, can these small changes really reverse aging? The answer depends on how you define age. If aging means decline, loss, and fading away, then no, a stretch or a bowl of oatmeal won't rewrite your DNA. But if aging means growing into deeper presence, reclaiming peace, and protecting your mind and body with conscious rituals, then yes. In every meaningful way, these simple morning acts do reverse what aging tries to take away. They restore power. They restore clarity. They restore self-respect. Take Liz, for example. She's 77, widowed, and lives with her cat, Charlie, in a modest home in Oregon. Liz swears by her mindful minute each morning. She places one hand over her chest and simply breathes. She imagines each inhale saying, "I am here," and each exhale saying, "I am safe." That's it. She told me once, "I'm not interested in anti-aging. I'm interested in pro-presence. I want to be fully alive while I'm here." And that's the heart of it, isn't it? What if your morning wasn't about racing into the day, but returning to yourself? So if you haven't yet, consider choosing a single anchor for your mornings. Just one. It could be a blessing you whisper to yourself. A warm, grounding breakfast. A name you say aloud, for someone you miss. Or a song that softens your shoulders. Whatever it is, make it yours. Not for the outside world. Not for show. Just for you. Because aging doesn't mean disappearing. It means arriving. In a deeper, wiser, more rooted way. And the morning is where that arrival begins. Now, we're nearly at the end of our 10-minute ritual, but there's one final, vital step. It's a step that bridges the body with action, the mind with movement, and transforms every small choice into a ripple effect of strength. There's a moment, right after you've stretched, sipped, breathed, and maybe written something kind on a scrap of paper, when the day hasn't quite begun, but your presence has fully arrived. That moment? That's where the magic lives. It's not loud. It doesn't shout like a news headline or buzz like a smartphone. But it's powerful, because it means you chose yourself first today. And that changes how you move through everything that comes next. You see, the final layer of this 10-minute ritual isn't just about what you do, it's about what you carry forward into your day. Let's talk about a woman named Harriet. She's 80 years old and lives in a tiny blue house tucked into a cul-de-sac in Vermont. She's the kind of person who still makes her bed every morning, even if no one is coming over. It's not for them, she says. It's for me. It tells my brain I'm not done yet. Harriet finishes her morning routine not with exercise or errands, but with a moment of gentle intention. Here's how she puts it. I sit with my hands open in my lap, palms facing up. I close my eyes, and I think, what's one kind thing I can do today, for myself or someone else? Sometimes it's calling my niece. Sometimes it's folding the laundry with love. Sometimes it's just letting myself rest without guilt. And that's the part we so often forget. Rest is part of healing. Stillness is part of vitality. Kindness to yourself is one of the most age-reversing habits you can practice. Because when we treat ourselves as worthy of care, our bodies listen. They release the tension stored in shoulders, jaws, knees. Our thoughts slow down. We stop rushing through tasks and start moving through life. It doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means we become more present, even in the imperfection. So now, imagine your morning as a circle rather than a checklist. You begin with breath, return to movement, nourish your body, center your spirit, and close with intention. It's not rigid. It's not fragile. It's yours. Even if you wake up late. Even if your back aches. Even if the cat knocks something off the table before you can stretch. You can always return to the circle. And for those who feel like they've already missed the window, who believe routines are only for the young or the busy, listen closely. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Every morning you wake up is an invitation, not to run harder, but to return home to yourself. Take Gregory, 83, a retired musician in Chicago. He spent decades on the road, waking up in different cities, never having a routine. But now, he wakes in his own bed, in his own space. And every morning, he puts on his favorite wool slippers, sits at the edge of the bed, and hums. Just hums. Nothing specific. Just a vibration that grounds him. It reminds me I still have music inside me, he says. And you have music in you, too. Maybe not in notes or melody. But in rhythm. In heartbeat. In breath. Your morning routine isn't about performance. It's about remembrance, that you're still here, still whole, still capable of joy and tenderness. So if today is the day you begin, start small. Maybe just a warm drink. A few slow shoulder rolls. A favorite song. A name whispered in gratitude. A window open to let in the sound of the birds. You don't need a perfect plan. You need presence. And if you're already practicing something, take a moment to notice what's shifted. Is your energy more steady? Has your mood softened? Do your feet feel more grounded when they touch the floor? These small things are not small. They are the opposite of small. They are the quiet victories that define resilience, self-respect, and dignity in aging. So here we are. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to remember who you are, to show your body some kindness, to choose peace over pressure. If something in today's message spoke to you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Just one line. One thing you're trying. Or one moment in your morning that made you feel more alive. And if you haven't already, subscribing to this channel is the easiest way to keep these reflections coming. We're building a quiet, kind community here. You're warmly invited to be part of it. Because aging isn't a countdown. It's a deepening. And your morning is where it begins.